Captain Du-1 Kim stood at the bridge of the Earth's heroic ship Dauntless, his eyes fixed on the main screen. The stars stretched endlessly before him, each one a reminder of how far humanity had come. The Dauntless was humanity's pride. Their first true warship built for deep space. Its black and silver hull gleamed under the distant starlight, its shape unlike anything else in known space. "Captain, we're picking up something strange," said Tae-Young Choi from his tactical station. His fingers moved quickly across the glowing display. "It looks like some kind of beacon, but it's ancient." Do-1 walked over to look at the readings. The beacon was putting out a signal they'd never seen before. It sat at the edge of their solar system, hidden behind Pluto's orbit. How had they missed it all these years? "How old is it?" Do-1 asked. "The metal is degraded. At least 10,000 years, sir," Tae-Young replied, his eyes wide with surprise. Before they could investigate further, their sensors lit up with new alerts. 3 ships had just appeared from nowhere, using some kind of faster-than-light travel different from Earth's jump drives. They were smooth and purple, shaped like teardrops, and clearly not human. "Battle stations," Do-1 ordered calmly. Red lights began flashing throughout the ship, but the crew stayed calm. They had trained for this moment for years. "But do not power weapons unless I say so. Let's not start a war on our first contact." The alien ships surrounded them in a triangle formation. They were smaller than the Dauntless, but Do-1 knew better than to judge by size alone. His crew waited silently, their hands hovering over their stations. A signal came through on all channels. The main screen filled with the image of a creature Do-1 had never seen before. It looked like a mix between a bird and a cat, with purple feathers and golden eyes. When it spoke, the ship's computers translated its clicks and whistles into Korean and English. "Unknown vessel. This is Patrol Leader Sith of the Arvani Defense Force. You are in violation of Quarantine Code 7249. Your system was marked for isolation due to primitive development status. Explain your presence beyond your designated bounds." Do-1 straightened his uniform and stepped forward. "This is Captain Do-1 Kim of the Earth ship Dauntless. We were unaware of any quarantine. We developed our space travel independently." The alien's feathers ruffled in what seemed like surprise. "Impossible. Your species was pre-industrial when the beacon was placed. You could not have." "Sir," Tae-Young interrupted, "they're scanning us. Their beams are trying to get through our shields." Do-1 noticed how the alien commander's eyes widened at the word shields. "Is there a problem, Patrol Leader Sith?" he asked politely. You have protection fields. And your ship, our scans indicate weapon systems we don't recognize." The alien's voice carried a note of worry now. "How did you achieve this level of technology without guidance?" "We built what we needed to survive," Do-1 said simply. "Humanity has a long history of preparing for the unknown. Now, perhaps we could discuss this situation like equals. We're eager to learn about the galaxy, but we won't be treated as primitives." The alien commander huddled with others off-screen, their whispered clicks and whistles too quiet for translation. When Sith turned back, his feathers were flat against his head. "The Galactic Council must be informed of this. Your level of development is unexpected. Will you agree to send a representative?" Do-1 smiled. "We would be honored. We've hoped to meet other civilizations for a long time." He paused, then added, "Though I hope the Council understands that humanity comes as we are. We're peaceful, but we're also prepared." "Yes," Sith said quietly. "We can see that." The alien seemed to gather itself. "A Council ship will arrive within 1 planetary rotation to escort your representatives. Until then, please remain in this sector." After the transmission ended, Do-1's crew let out a collective breath. Chief Engineer Sun Mei-Kang spoke up from her station. "They seemed scared of us, Captain. Is that good or bad?" Do-1 looked at the alien ships, still holding their triangle formation, but at a notably greater distance than before. It means they'll take us seriously, he said. And sometimes being taken seriously is the best way to keep the peace. He touched the ship's intercom. All hands, this is the captain. Today we've made history. Humanity has taken its first step into a larger galaxy. Whatever comes next, remember this moment. Remember how we showed them that humanity may be young among the stars, but we are not weak. The Dauntless hung in space, its powerful engines quiet, its weapons cold but ready, its shields humming softly. On its hull, the flag of Earth caught the light of distant stars, a testament to how far they'd come, and a promise of how far they would go. Ambassador Jai-Ho Park had never seen so many different alien species in one room. The Galactic Council chamber was huge, with rising tiers of seats that held creatures of all shapes and sizes. Some looked almost human, while others were so strange he could barely understand what he was seeing. He stood at the center of the chamber, wearing his best black diplomatic suit with Earth's flag pin on his collar. "You're telling us," rumbled a large rocky creature from the upper tier, "that these humans built starships and shields without any help? Impossible." Jai-Ho kept his face calm, though inside he felt annoyed. This was the 5th time they'd questioned Earth's achievements. "With respect, Counselor, humanity has always been good at building things, especially when we think we might need to defend ourselves." A thin, blue alien with 4 arms stood up. "That's exactly the problem. Their first ship to leave their solar system is a warship. What does that tell us about these humans?" "It tells you we're careful," Jai-Ho replied. The translator changed his words into the standard galactic language, carrying his firm tone. "We didn't know what we would find out here. Would you explore unknown waters without being ready for storms?" In the middle section of the chamber, an alien that looked like a tall, silver-skinned humanoid raised a hand for silence. This was Hae-Nu Lee, who had taken a Korean name as a sign of respect when he became Earth's main supporter on the Council. His species, the Luminary, were known for their wisdom. "My fellow council members," Hae-Nu's voice was smooth and clear, "we're looking at this all wrong. Humanity didn't build weapons because they wanted war. They built them because they wanted peace, but were wise enough to know that peace sometimes needs protecting. They destroyed our scanning beams," shouted someone from the back. "Their shields are too strong." Jai-Ho saw his chance. "We didn't destroy anything. Our shields simply protected us. There's a difference between having strength and using it badly." He touched a small device on his wrist, and a hologram appeared in the center of the chamber. It showed Earth ships helping to evacuate people from a flooding coast. Another image showed Earth's defense fleet protecting merchant ships from pirates. "This is how we use our strength," Jai-Ho said quietly. "To protect. To help. Yes, the Dauntless is a warship, but its first mission wasn't to fight. It was to explore. To meet you. To learn." Hae-Nu Lee nodded approvingly. "The humans have achieved in isolation what many of our species needed help to develop. Instead of fearing this, perhaps we should be curious about it." A small bird-like alien fluttered down to the speaking platform. "But our laws are clear. No species should have military technology without council oversight. We must contain them before." "Before what?" Jai-Ho's voice cut through the chamber. He hadn't raised it, but something in his tone made everyone stop and listen. "Before we defend ourselves. Before we help others. You speak of containment, but we want cooperation. Earth stands ready to join the galactic community. As equals." The chamber erupted in argument. Some council members supported Hae-Nu's view that humanity should be welcomed. Others demanded Earth be forced to give up its military ships. A few even suggested using force to keep Earth in line. Jai-Ho waited until the noise died down. "Members of the Council, let me be clear. Earth won't give up its right to protect itself. But we'd rather use our strength to help make the galaxy safer for everyone. The choice is yours. Would you rather have humanity as friends or as something else?" The rocky alien who had spoken first rumbled thoughtfully. You speak boldly for a species that just joined galactic society. We speak as we are, Jai-Ho replied. No more, no less. He-Nu Lee stood again. I move that we take time to consider this carefully. Humanity has surprised us. Perhaps that's not a bad thing. The galaxy hasn't seen anything new in a very long time. As the council members began discussing among themselves, Jai-Ho caught He-Nu's eye and nodded in thanks. The silver-skinned alien blinked slowly in return, a gesture of friendship among his people. In the back of his mind, Jai-Ho couldn't help but smile at the irony. Humanity had spent centuries wondering if aliens would be friendly or hostile. Now the aliens were having the same debate about humans. He touched the Earth flag pin on his collar. Whatever the council decided, Earth wasn't going anywhere. They had earned their place among the stars, not through conquest or tricks, but through hard work and determination. If the council couldn't accept that, well, that would be their loss. The debate continued around him, but Jai-Ho stood tall. The first battle for Earth's future wouldn't be fought with ships and weapons, but with words and wisdom. And he intended to win it. The emergency signal flashed on the Dauntless's main screen. Captain Do-Won Kim read the message twice to be sure. Civilian transport under attack, he announced to his crew. 30 minutes from our position. Pirates. He looked at his tactical officer. Tae-Young, are we the closest ship? Tae-Young Choi checked his screens. Yes, sir. There's a council patrol 2 hours away. Too far to help. Do-Won didn't hesitate. Set course. Maximum speed. He pressed the ship-wide comm button. All hands, battle stations. This is not a drill. The Dauntless jumped into action, its engines glowing bright blue as it raced through space. In the tactical room, Tae-Young prepared the weapons while explaining things to their council observer, a purple-feathered Arvani named Kix. Your ship moves very fast, Kix said, his feathers twitching nervously. We believe in getting there in time to help, Tae-Young replied, checking his guns. What can you tell us about these pirates? They're brutal. They have 3 ships. Most council vessels can't stand against them. Tae-Young smiled. We're not most vessels. The Dauntless dropped out of faster-than-light speed near a small passenger ship. 3 ugly, rust-colored vessels surrounded it. They were firing warning shots, trying to scare the passenger ship into stopping. Open a channel, Do-Won ordered. His voice carried across space. Attention pirate vessels. This is the Earth ship Dauntless. Stand down and leave the transport alone. This is your only warning. The pirates responded with laughter. Their leader, a rough-looking alien with scales, appeared on screen. 1 ship, against 3 of us. Leave now, and we might let you live. Do-Won shook his head. Wrong answer. He turned to Tae-Young. Show them what Earth's point defense system can do. The pirates fired first, launching 20 missiles at once. Kix gasped, thinking the Dauntless was done for. But then something amazing happened. Hundreds of tiny lights sparked around the Earth ship. Each one was a small defensive shot, precisely aimed. Within seconds, every missile exploded safely away from the Dauntless. Not a single one got close. Impossible. Kix whispered. No one can stop that many missiles. Phase 2, Do-Won ordered calmly. The Dauntless's main gun spoke. They didn't fire the energy beams that most council ships used. Instead, they launched special Earth shells that split apart in space. Each piece tracked a different target. The pirates tried to run, but Earth's weapons were too fast and too smart. Small explosions covered their engines, leaving them dead in space but not destroyed. Their weapons and engines are disabled, Tae-Young reported. No casualties. The crews are trapped but alive. Do-Won nodded. Send to the council patrol. Pirates captured. Please collect. We'll wait. He turned to their observer. See, Kix. No need for killing when you have better options. Kix's feathers were standing straight up in shock. I've never seen anything like this. You could have destroyed them all. We could have, Do-1 agreed. But that's not our way. Earth believes in using just enough force. No more, no less. The passenger ship's captain called to thank them. Her voice shook with relief. We thought we were done for. How can we repay you? No payment needed, Do-1 replied. Just tell others that when you needed help, Earth was there. After the council patrol arrived to arrest the pirates, Kix approached Do-1 on the bridge. I must report this to the council, the alien said. Of course. Tell them exactly what you saw. I will tell them that Earth's ships are powerful enough to defeat 3 enemies at once. Kix paused. But I will also tell them that when you had the power to destroy, you chose to save instead. Do-1 smiled. That's the most important part of the story. Later, as the Dauntless resumed its patrol, Do-1 looked at his crew. They had performed perfectly, showing both Earth's strength and its mercy. News of this would spread fast. Sir, Tai Young called out, the Council Observer's report is already going viral on galactic networks. They're calling it the Dauntless Dance, the way we stopped all those missiles. Good, Do-1 said. Let them talk. Sometimes the best way to prevent a fight is to show others why they shouldn't start one. The Dauntless moved smoothly through space, its point defense system quiet now but ready. Behind it, the stars seemed to shine a little brighter, as if they too approved of how humanity had handled its first real test in the galaxy. Science officer Sun Mi-Kang couldn't believe what she was seeing on her screens. 3 massive alien warships had just appeared near Earth's orbit. They weren't trying to hide. They wanted to be seen. Captain, she called to Do-1 Kim. These ships, they're from the Unity faction, the ones who were most against us in the council. The bridge of the Dauntless was quiet except for the soft beeping of computers. Everyone knew what this meant. The Unity faction had decided to attack Earth before humanity could grow stronger. Send a message to Earth Defense Command, Do-1 ordered. Tell them to get civilians to safety bunkers. He turned to his tactical officer. Tai Young, what are we facing? 3 Titan-class warships, sir. Each one is 4 times our size. Tai Young's fingers flew over his control panel. Their weapons are charging. The enemy commander's face appeared on their screen. He looked like a tall, gray-skinned alien with red eyes. This is Commander Vex of the Unity faction. Earth has been judged too dangerous to join the galactic community. Surrender now. Do-1 stood straight in his captain's chair. This is Captain Do-1 Kim. You are attacking a peaceful planet without cause. Leave now. 1 ship against 3 of ours. Vex laughed. What can you do alone? Sun Mai raised her hand. Captain, I found something. She sent her readings to his screen. They're shields. They've never faced our type of weapons. There's a weakness. The enemy ships fired their first shots. Huge energy beams rushed toward the Dauntless. But Earth's ship was ready. It moved like a dancer, spinning and sliding between the beams. Now we know their weapons, Do-1 said calmly. Tai Young, remember your training. Sun Mai, send him your shield data. The Dauntless fired back. Instead of trying to break through the enemy shields directly, they used Earth's special shells. These shells exploded just outside the alien shields, creating waves that passed right through them. Impossible, Vex shouted as his ship shook. Their weapons, they're inside our shields. That's the problem with thinking you know everything, Do-1 said. You stop learning new things. The battle was being broadcast across all Council space. Everyone watched as the small Earth ship danced around 3 giant warships. The Dauntless never stopped moving, never made the same move twice. Their shields are failing, Sun Mai reported. The frequency shifts are working. Do-1 nodded. Target their engines only. Show them what mercy means. One by one, the mighty Unity ships lost power. Their engines died, leaving them floating in space. They could still talk and breathe, but they couldn't fight or run away. This is your last warning. Du-One told them. Leave Earth's space. Tell your leaders that we don't want war, but we will defend ourselves. The Unity commander's face was pale with shock. How? How did one ship beat 3 of ours? Because we didn't build our ships to show power, Du-One replied. We built them to protect what matters. There's a difference. Just then, more ships appeared. But these were friendly. Council peacekeepers led by Hae-Newly. They had come as fast as they could when they heard about the attack. Captain Kim, Hae-Newell's silver face showed relief. We feared we would be too late, but it seems Earth can take care of itself. We can, Du-One agreed, but we're glad to have friends too. As the council ships helped arrest the Unity forces, Sunmei walked to her captain's side. Sir, our battle recordings are being shared everywhere. The whole galaxy is watching. Good. Du-One looked at the stars beyond his viewport. Let them watch. Let them learn that humanity won't start fights, but we will finish them. And most importantly, let them learn that we can win without destroying our enemies. The Dauntless hung in space, its hull marked with a few burns but still strong. Behind it, Earth shone blue and beautiful, safe from those who would harm it. And across the galaxy, millions of beings watched and learned an important lesson. Humans were not to be underestimated, but they weren't to be feared either. They were to be respected. Engineer Hyun-Woo Song stood in front of a room full of alien military officers. 1 month had passed since the Dauntless defeated 3 Unity warships, and now everyone wanted to learn from Earth. The key isn't just the technology, Hyun-Woo explained, pointing to the diagrams behind him. It's how we think about defense. We build layers of protection, like an onion. A tall, insect-like alien raised its front leg. But how did your small ship move so fast? Our big ships can't dance like that. Hyun-Woo smiled. That's because you build ships like floating fortresses. We build them like ocean ships back on Earth. Speed and balance are just as important as armor. In another part of the Council space station, Captain Du-One Kim sat in a meeting with Hae-Newely and other Council leaders. They were watching videos of new ships being built. Ships that look different from the old Council designs. See how they're changing, Hae-Newell said, his silver skin gleaming. 6 Council species have already started adding Earth-style point defense systems to their ships. They're making their ships smaller, faster. Du-One nodded. And safer. Our ways aren't just about fighting. They're about protecting people while using the least force needed. At her station on the Dauntless, Sun Li-Kang was teaching alien engineers about Earth's shield technology. But she wasn't just teaching. She was learning too. If we combine your energy fields with our deflector systems, she said excitedly, we could make shields twice as strong using half the power. The aliens were surprised. They weren't used to humans being so eager to share and learn at the same time. Most species kept their military secrets close, but Earth believed that sharing knowledge made everyone safer. Back in the training room, Hyun-Woo was showing how Earth's weapons worked. We don't just blast through shields, he explained. We study them. We find smart ways around them. It's like finding the door instead of breaking down the wall. But what if someone uses these lessons against Earth? A worried council member asked. Hyun-Woo's answer was simple. Then we'll learn from that too. Standing still is how you fall behind. Moving forward, learning, improving. That's how you stay safe. The changes weren't just in ships and weapons. The whole council was changing how it thought about space travel and defense. Small, fast ships started replacing the huge, slow ones. More species began working together, sharing what they knew. Captain Du-One got a call from Earth's government. The council wants to create a new defense committee. They told him. They want you to help lead it. Me. Du-One was surprised. Why? Because you showed them something important. You showed them that being strong doesn't mean being cruel. That winning doesn't mean destroying. In her lab, Sun Li made another discovery. She found a way to make ships' engines 30% more efficient by combining Earth's ideas with alien technology. When she announced it, she didn't keep it secret or try to sell it. She shared it freely. "This is not the Council way," an alien scientist said, confused. "No," Sun Mei agreed. "It's the Earth way. We believe that when everyone gets better, everyone gets safer." By the end of the month, 20 different species were building ships using Earth's ideas. But they weren't just copying. They were adding their own clever ideas too. Every day brought new improvements, new combinations of technologies. Hyunwoo finished his last class of the day. Looking out a window at the ships moving around the space station, he saw vessels of all shapes and sizes. Some looked like Earth ships, some looked like alien ships, and some looked like something completely new. "We didn't just change their ships," he said to himself. "We changed how they think about them." In his office, Hae-Nul Lee wrote in the Council records, "The arrival of Earth has started a revolution. Not a violent one, but a revolution of ideas. They taught us that the best defense isn't a bigger weapon or a thicker wall. It's the wisdom to learn, the courage to change, and the strength to show mercy." The Dauntless flew past the window, its design now famous across the galaxy. But it wasn't just famous for winning a battle. It was famous for starting something bigger, a new way of thinking about power and peace in the stars. Security Chief Min-ho Park watched the emergency reports flood his screen at Council Station 6. Pirate attacks had tripled in the past month. The criminals were taking advantage of all the confusion as ships and defense systems changed. Another merchant ship hit, he told Captain Do-won Kim, who stood nearby. "That's the 5th one this week. These pirates are getting bold. They think everyone's too busy changing their ships to fight back," Do-won said. He looked at the star map showing all the attacks. "But maybe that's our chance to show what real cooperation looks like." Min-ho noticed something about the attack pattern. "Sir, look at this. They're not random attacks. The pirates are targeting ships that are being upgraded. They're striking when ships are most vulnerable. Someone's giving them information," Do-won realized. "Someone who knows about the construction schedules." Hae-Nul Lee entered the room, his silver skin glowing with concern. "Captain, we just got word. A whole group of ships carrying new defense systems has vanished. 15 vessels, gone." Do-won stood straighter. "Then it's time to show them what Earth and the Council can do together." He pressed a button on the command table. "This is Captain Kim. I need every available ship, Earth, Council, anyone who can fight. We're forming the first joint task force." Within hours, ships gathered at Council Station 6. The Dauntless floated in the center, surrounded by vessels of all kinds. Some were old Council ships, some were new ones with Earth-style upgrades, and some were from species that had created their own unique designs. Min-ho worked with alien security officers to make a plan. "The pirates think we're weak because we're changing," he told them. "But change has made us stronger. We just need to work together." They made mixed crews, putting Earth officers on alien ships and alien officers on Earth ships. Each one could learn from the others in real combat. "This is weird," a young Earth officer said, standing next to a tall, four-armed alien at a weapons station. "Weird is good," Min-ho told him. "Weird means the pirates won't know what to expect." They tracked the stolen ships to an old mining system. The pirates had hidden them among abandoned stations, thinking no one would look there. They were wrong. The joint fleet dropped out of faster-than-light speed in attack formation. The Dauntless led the way, but it wasn't alone anymore. 20 ships moved with it, each one different, but all working together. "Pirates, this is Captain Do-won Kim," his voice carried across space. "You face a united fleet. Surrender now." The pirates answered by launching everything they had. They thought their stolen ships and weapons would protect them. They were wrong about that too. What happened next was like a dance. Earth ships used their point defense to protect the bigger Council ships. Council ships used their strong energy weapons to break down pirate shields. New hybrid ships did things no one had seen before, combining the best of both worlds. They're running. Minho called out as the pirate fleet broke apart. Some tried to escape, but ships of all kinds worked together to catch them. An hour later, it was over. Every stolen ship was recovered. Every pirate was captured, and no one had died, just like Earth had taught them. Hanuli looked at the battle records with pride. "This is more than a victory over pirates," he said. "This is proof that we're stronger together than apart." On the Dauntless's bridge, Minho showed Do-Won something interesting. "Look at these battle readings, sir." Each ship learned from the others during the fight. They started copying each other's best moves. "Good," Do-Won smiled. "That's exactly what we hoped would happen." Later, as the joint fleet headed home, Minho walked through his ship. He saw Earth officers teaching aliens about point defense. He saw aliens showing Earth crews new ways to use energy weapons. Everyone was learning. Everyone was sharing. "You know what's funny?" he said to Captain Do-Won. "The pirates thought all these changes made us weak, but learning from each other made us stronger than ever." The Dauntless led the fleet back to Council space, but it wasn't just an Earth ship anymore. Like everything else, it had grown into something new, a symbol of what different species could do when they worked together. And this was just the beginning. 3 months had passed since the joint fleet's victory over the pirates. The council chamber looked very different now. Where there used to be separate sections for different species, now everyone sat mixed together. And today was special. Earth was officially joining the Galactic Council. Captain Do-Won Kim stood in his formal uniform, watching Ambassador Jaiho Parks sign the membership agreement. Next to them, Hae-Nul Lee's silver skin glowed with pride. The chamber was packed with beings from every corner of the galaxy. "Earth is now a full member of the Council," Jaiho announced. "But we ask for one unusual thing. We want to head the new Joint Defense Committee." A few years ago, such a request from a new species would have caused anger. Now, many council members nodded in agreement. They had seen what Earth could do. "I nominate Captain Do-Won Kim to lead the committee," Hae-Nul said. "He has shown us a new way to think about strength and peace." Do-Won stepped forward to speak. "Thank you, but I won't lead alone. Every species should have a voice. We're stronger when we listen to each other." In the space dock outside, Engineer Hyun Woo-song was looking at the newest ship in the joint fleet. It was beautiful, a perfect mix of Earth and alien design. Its weapons could disable enemies without destroying them. Its shields combined the best ideas from 10 different species. "It's not just a ship," Hyun-Woo told a group of young alien engineers. "It's a promise that we can all work together." The ship's name was Unity, not for the old Unity faction that had attacked Earth, but for the new Unity that Earth had helped create. Science Officer Sun Mi-Kang was in her new laboratory on Council Station 1. She worked with aliens from all over the galaxy now. Together, they solved problems that no one species could fix alone. "Remember when some people thought humans would bring war to the galaxy?" she asked her alien friend, a small blue creature named Tix. "Instead, you brought change," Tix said, working on a new shield design. "Good change." In the training center, Security Chief Minho Park watched Earth officers and alien crews practice together. They didn't just copy each other's methods, they made new ones that were better than before. "That's it," he called to a mixed group. "Use Earth's quick movements with Council energy weapons." Perfect. The biggest change was in how different species treated each other. Before Earth arrived, many species stayed apart, thinking they were better alone. Now they learned from each other, shared with each other, helped each other. Back in the council chamber, Do-Won looked at the star map showing all the galaxy ships. The dots of light weren't separated by species anymore. They moved together, protected together, worked together. "Captain," a young Earth officer called. "The first Joint Fleet Academy is ready to open. We have students from 50 different species." Do-Won smiled. This was what Earth had really brought to the galaxy, not just new weapons or shields, but a new way of thinking. A way that said being different was good, that learning from each other made everyone stronger. Ambassador Jeho stood at the grand window of the council station, watching ships of all kinds move past. "You know," he said to Newell, "when we first met aliens, we worried they might try to conquer us." "And we worried you might try to conquer us," Newell replied with a gentle laugh. "Instead, you conquered our fears and doubts." The Dauntless floated nearby, but it wasn't alone anymore. Hundreds of ships moved with it, each one different, each one special, each one part of something bigger. The galaxy was waiting, One said, joining them at the window. Not for someone to rule it, but for someone to show that we could all be better together. As the sun rose over the nearest planet, its light touched ships of all shapes and sizes. Earth had taken its place among the stars not by being the strongest or the smartest, but by being willing to learn, to share, and to believe that everyone had something worth teaching. The new era had begun, and it was brighter than anyone had imagined.